Good morning, everyone. Come on in, feel that ocean breeze, feel the heart of the dolphins and whales calling out to you. How many of you love dolphins and whales and the energy of the sea? Come on in and join us today. Please like our show. Please follow our page. Please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and hit that little notification bell, because that helps us out immensely. Last week we had over 2,000 views, which should be like 20,000 we'd like to get by the end of the week, but who knows. We have great guests when we have views, so please join us, comment, tell us you're here, and we're so excited that you are. Today, Teresa is going to introduce our special guest, who will bring us a wonderful meditation at the end of her spots. So stay tuned, and we'll all get to the to the sea. Sorry.
And sorry. Sally sells the seashells.
Yeah, not going to do that. Out really late last night doing an owl survey, and that's for another show. Here you go.
Yeah, barely holding on right now.
And we appreciate that, Rhonda. We needed that. And hey, I got a few cents for you guys, so come on in and enjoy this. This is my little Palo Santo stick. See how little left?
Oh.
And the sage I got comes from New Orleans that my son brought me, and it's sage, not white sage, the other one, the big sage, mixed with dragon's breath. So enjoy this. And they do get along with the dolphins, because I could feel the dolphin energy coming on in. So it's so nice to be with our family today, you guys. I am so excited to introduce to you Eleana Oceanheart, who for a long time, even before the Akashic Academy, even... Is that me? I can't... That's...
Oh, is there an echo?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing an echo. Do you guys got it?
No,
I don't hear an
just
echo.
barely. Keep on going. You're good.
Okay. All right. I'll just talk and ignore all that. So anyway, you guys, before the Akashic Academy, before our show, before everything, I have heard an interview with Eleana Oceanheart, and it touched me so deeply, because it was the dolphin energy. She embodied that dolphin energy so amazingly that all these years I've been watching her from the background. I'm still distracted by the background, so I'll have to fix that when I'm done. But anyhow, I want to introduce you to Eleana Oceanheart. We're so excited. So come on in, and introduce yourself. I got 2 tracks playing.
Can you hear me okay? Is there an
Yes.
echo going on? No echoes?
No, we're good.
No, we're good. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and it's quite a while since I've done one of these shows. I've been kind of off the radar, and now it's time to sort of swim out again. What can I say? I am Eleana Oceanheart, and ever since I can remember, I've had this extraordinary connection with dolphins and whales. So I was not one of those mermaids that grew up by the ocean, that could swim at age 5, could hold their breath underwater. I grew up in Stevenage, a new town in England. It was quite a soulless place and had quite a challenging childhood. But what I had in those, right from the very first moments, was this connection with the dolphins and whales. It was very much sort of on the higher levels. So they were a little bit like my angels and guides. So those were my kind of first experiences. And it was so surreal to have these experiences whilst living in not so jolly old England, miles from the ocean. So those, this has been like my core kind of connection. I think when we're in the case of creation, when we decide what we're going to come in with, I think the dolphins and I said, okay, guys, this is going to be a rocky ride. We're coming with you. So it's a lifetime connection. And I was from about it took me till about 98 to have my very first dolphin encounter. I was strongly guided to go to the Bahamas. It was out of season. The water was rough. It was, it was quite a challenging experience. But from the moment I got in that water, on my third attempt, first one I was violently sick. The second one was stung all over. But from that third one, it was just like, oh my God, this is my family. So that was a very profound moment. And from that time on, I have been incredibly blessed to connect with them in the wild. I've spent time, I ended up living on a sailboat out in the Bahamas for about 3 years. So I spent a lot of time really immersed in their world. And then I've spent time in Hawaii with the humpbacks. So I've spent a lot of time in the physical, but it's actually been a really, I would say 3 or 4 years, since maybe longer, that I have actually physically been with them. But they're always there in the higher dimensional form. And as I'm talking, I'm being joined by Megalo, who is our white whale. So anybody who's heard of Megalo is an albino humpback whale. He swims kind of off the Pacific, apart from when he's going back up to Alaska. Is it Alaska? Antarctica? Not sure. And him and I have journeyed on the high levels for quite a long time. I haven't seen him physically, but his presence is very much a part of my entourage, my spirit family. And he's just like this shimmering white presence. And his presence, I really feel, the Aboriginal named him Megalo, which means white fellow. And in their tradition, the white whales, anything that's white is incredibly sacred. And so they named him with that intention. And the feeling that came out of this, that his presence on Earth is really heralding this time of our new Earth. And he's an invitation to really return home to our hearts, to really become centered in our hearts and live from that place, fully embody our divinity within our physicalities and step into new Earth. So he's a big harbinger of change. And he really was, he was not the inspiration for the book. My book is called, sorry, I'm going on a roll here. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Take it away.
So my book is called Dancing with the White Whale, A Journey Home to Love. And in essence, it is my personal journey. It's my story of awakening from those very first moments as a child, where in a very shut down state, I had this dream of this kind of thing, this diamond that existed within me, and felt it sort of awaken. And childhood was quite challenging for me, but within that darkness, I felt this spark of light. And I was like, oh my God, there is something else. I am not just this heavy, dense physical body that feels like it's come in with an overcoat on. So it's really charts my whole story of spiritual awakening, which, as we know, is beautiful and magical and at times incredibly messy. So it's really the human story. But what it does is it's got some amazing adventures. We go to Hawaii, we go to the Bahamas, we go through hurricanes. It's a wild ride. It's a wild ride, because one of the things I've always done is followed my soul completely and utterly. Without, if I feel something, I do it. And that has taken me on an extraordinary journey, which in essence, I believe is the journey my soul needed to take to really strip away the layers and the levels, that we go through on this journey of awakening, which really, it's about coming home to who we truly are without all of this stuff.
Wow.
So
I love this.
Oh, good.
No, really, this is beautiful, because when I was younger in high school, I had a connection to a particular whale that I only saw imaginary, and I really thought I was going crazy. But for the longest time, until I asked a spiritual teacher about it, I would see that. So it was leading me to ask the right questions. And I feel that your relationship to the white whale is at a time when it's time for us to start asking new questions as we move into the new earth. And then you mentioned the diamond, and it's like, I'm wearing diamond code gemstone perfume right now. So I just feel all kinds of coordination going on here. So,
Oh, thank you. I can feel that. There's sort of like this resonance of energy that's just.
And isn't it beautiful, though, these whales and things, when you are with them, okay, either meditating, but when you are with them, because I've had the experiences of looking into their eyes and stuff. What are these awesome experiences? Because I would just love to do the things you did, make those choices that you made. What's that like?
Oh, it's one of the most profound experiences I've ever had in my life, and I've had some pretty extraordinary things happen to me. I mean, there is the dolphin eye, and then there's the whale eye.
Yeah.
And I feel drawn to talk about the whale eye, actually, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Because the dolphin whales have very different energy. There is a very, the dolphins are very sort of up, high energy, and then the dolphin.
It's true.
And then the dolphins are sort of much deeper, and it's just so profound when it's a depth of energy. It's like the expansiveness of the universe. It's totally limitless. And when you see a whale eye, which, is pretty much, like this, it's like looking into the eye of just total love, consciousness.
And love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's difficult to describe in words, really, but it just takes you into such depths of your being.
I wish we could all experience this because it is beautiful. I was looking into the eyes of a shamu, orca, which is the largest of the dolphins. But so their eyes are not quite the whale eyes and the other. But another thing that your experience reminds me of, and I want to run this by you. I remember back in Lemuria. So everybody put your Lemurian caps on, we're going back. Back in Lemuria, I remember that whales were an important part of communication for us. And there were times when they were traveling north and times when they were traveling south. After they had been south and they're coming back, they would have stories to tell. Where we were in Lemuria, they would catch up to each other. However they were separated, they would catch up to each other there and wait before they would move on. And I know for sure, I remember my Lemurian mother teaching me that when we meditated, the whales would take us back to the Pleiades. So it wasn't the physical whale, it was that whale energy. Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I sort of really feel it in my cells at the moment. It's everything's very physical for me. I was like, these cells are kind of. But yeah, I mean, I think all the places I've been drawn to on my travels are very either Lemurian or Atlantean. And in those places, that's where we were one with dolphins. They were considered sovereign beings in their own right, and we communicated with them. And I had an amazing experience in Italy, actually, in the, Damanhur, the temples. These are the most amazing underground temples that have been built. And they're called the Temples of Mankind. And there's one called the Hall of Mirrors. And in there, you're supposed to meet your true self, your absolute essence. And as I sat in this room, it was like I suddenly just felt this essence of like going back to that time when I probably was dolphin.
Oh, neat.
And it just took me back to that place, and I just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed, and it was like returning to that place again inside of home, of love, of joy. So that was very profound. So yeah, everywhere I've gone have very much Lemuria or Atlantis, and there's always been a bit of a journey with that.
Yeah.
Not always easy, because Atlantis was a very, that fell apart very fast, and there was a lot of chaos and trauma there, which I think a lot of us have been healing recently. As we come back into New Earth, those are being cleaned up so we can step forward with the tools and gifts we had at those times. That's my feeling anyway.
And I know I want to get back to your book because that's so exciting to me. But I remember too, you are an amazing intuitive artist.
Oh, thank you.
Did we have those pictures to share right now, you guys? Tell us about how artwork came to you.
Yeah, well, it was really amazing. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for asking, Teresa. It was incredible. I mean, as a kid, I did art, and then it was like I really got it was like I was very intuitive, and then I had to do an exam, and it was all like, no, we do this technique and that technique, and it's got to be in this, and it was like crushed. My creativity just went kind of, ugh. Yeah. And then it didn't start until I used to have really bad asthma, really chronic asthma for like 20 years, which has been a very big journey, really big journey. Some of the book is about that. But I just come out of hospital, and I just had this feeling I wanted to paint, and I put on the didgeridoo music, and I started to paint, and it's like it sort of unlocked something, and then it was just like this flow of energy that was coming through the painting, and I would dance, and then I'd paint.
Wow.
And it was just, it was and it is just like energies that want to move through me, higher dimensional frequencies. And it's, it is very much a part of my dance work as well. It's all very much about just anchoring those energies onto canvas.
So you can go to your website and see your paintings?
Yeah, you can.
And there's some behind you as well. We can see those in the background.
Yeah, they're very small here, but there's on the. Yeah, I'm hoping to get prints of the. Because I was so busy with the book for a while, it went to the back burner. But I want to get probably prints of 3 or 4 of my best ones. So if you check out my website in about a week, and also Instagram, I've got paintings there.
Beautiful.
And I do work for sort of sacred spaces, like if people have particular. I did one for a beautiful new business called Yugen, and it was to really help anchor their business into this plane. It's about really anchoring those energies, and it was to support them in their business. So
It's so beautiful. I love that. The way the energies are swirling around you and everything. This is just beautiful stuff.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's all energy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, no wonder there's the dance that goes with it.
Yeah, it's all about the flow, and you definitely have found your flow. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Amen.
Yeah, I guess so. It's taken a while to get there, but it's very much about really just surrendering to energy and what is present in that moment.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then with your book, I know you had to feel the calling to bring forth, your legacy work. How long did it take you to put that together and manifest it publicly?
A really long time, Teresa. I started writing 5 years ago. It was a very challenging time. I'd come back from being in Hawaii. I'd been very sick. I'd had a kind of near-death experience. I was living with my parents. And it was a hard time. And I thought, what can I do? I couldn't work because I was still sick. I was recovering. And I thought, people kept saying to me, Eleana, you've got to write a book. And so I started to write. And it just poured out of me. But it really takes a very, very long time to write a book. And especially this book, because it was covering my whole life. And it was like, I had to keep going back and revisit places. And it was like, every time I did, it was like a stone. It's a bit like the energies at the moment. No stone could be left unturned. And when there was still trauma, it was like there's still work to do. We've got to go back in. So in we would go.
How
And
healing.
then, so it's been the most liberating journey, because I've really got to look, and of course there's still more, but I got to look all of my really big patterns, like really, the patterns from childhood, and then I could see how that was a theme. Then there was a lot of trauma with asthma and things, but I really got to liberate myself for some really old crap. Sorry.
Right on.
And I think like what's coming up, and I don't even know why, but the whole asthma thing is maybe just that your soul was so connected with breathing the water that it had trouble breathing the air.
That was one of the reasons, love. Spot on. Yeah. Yeah, you got it, love. And it was true. I've had memories where I could breathe through my skin. And it was like coming into a physical body. I had such an awareness, like, oh God, I'm in a body and this is really dense. And I've arrived in this particularly challenging scenario, and it was like, and it was. It's like I really got to look that in the eye. And then, very good awareness. And then, grief, all sorts of this. It's a very complicated illness. And it's my intention and desire that this can really help people, because, after I'd had my near-death experience, it pretty much it disappeared. It was, anyway, that's a whole other story, which is in the book. And then what happened in answer to end of the answer to your question, Therese, it was like the dolphins came in as I did the final draft. I was working with this wonderful editor, and I got that Megalo wanted to come in, because see what happens is there's the human stories, and then there's the higher level, we have the dolphins. And it's like, as my intention is that as people read it, the human stories, the dolphins are swimming with them and bringing healing. And each chapter, at the beginning of it, Megalo comes in, and there's like a little, he introduces one of his friends. So there's like a little energy transmission, like la, 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 la. And then we dive into the human.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of hanging out and dancing together. So, yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, behold. I love this.
Oh, it's so beautiful to share with you in all of its depth and range, because I had no idea really that this is what it would become. Yeah.
Do you know why Megalo, or can you give us a sense of why Megalo was incarnated now for this period of time? Has he shared that with you, or she shared that with you?
Yeah, I think it was kind of what I referred to earlier, but as we come out of we've stepped into the age of Aquarius. It's like we're coming out of the old paradigm and we're shifting into the new. And, his frequency of love and light actually passes through the whole of the oceans. The dolphins and the whales, as they're immersed in the oceans, their energy and frequency is lighting up the earth. So, yeah, I think that's why. And I think the Aboriginals have alluded to that. I mean, there's so much depth in their stories I don't fully understand. I think there is a mystery, but they've alluded to that. Yeah.
It's very cool. It's very cool how the North American original people worship the white buffalo. They find that sacred.
Yeah, that's right.
And white is always sort of, like you said, it's always sort of a different, but it's always sort of seemed as sacred or a harbinger of something.
Well, and the white lions are coming in now too.
That's
we talked
right.
about that not that long ago. Yeah,
Wow, good memory.
white lion. Yeah, and so I think that it's just like a sign that things are coming in. It's like the next evolution. It's really anchoring in that purity, that divine love.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Exciting.
it is. It's very exciting. And I never got to have, like, when I was a teenager, I would collect dolphin figurines and stuff. I loved dolphins as a teenager. And then I didn't really get into it as much. I've always had a connection with the ocean and everything. But last year I had this really profound dream with whales, with orcas. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember feeling so incredibly connected to them, and just like they had shown up just for me in the dream, like they had just come for me. And it was just such a, I don't know how to explain it. Like it was just beyond anything I'd ever really experienced. You know, it was just beautiful. And so I just, it's interesting that they show up right when you need it, you know, right at the perfect time when you're ready to accept that, you know, there's so much more than what we see. And, you know, you don't have to have a physical in-person experience, but you can have dreams that are just
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they're so there on so many levels. That's the beauty in it. And just the frequency of love, I feel, you know, which is really important, is to keep our hearts open. That's really what they show us. And so I've just remembered a beautiful little story, actually, when you talk about the orcas. Have we got time for a little?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I had an experience with an orca, and it was so bizarre. It was when I was 12, and I got taken. Thank God we don't have marinas anymore. They're all closed down in England, thank goodness. But there was a place called Windsor Safari Park, and it had an orca. And my grandma took me there, and I was really shut down. I was kind of almost autistic as a child, and I didn't really speak very much. Anyway, I got taken to this event, and I was sitting there, and I remember this clear as day. The trainer said, "Oh, does anybody want to go in a little dinghy and be pulled by this whale?" And normally and I just went like this. And I started to walk, and the guy said, "Okay, that girl over there." And it was like I ran down, and it was just the most incredible thing to be so, you know, and I was so shy. It was not something I'd normally do, but it was like that recognition, that soul core recognition. And this dolphin just took me around and around and around, and it was incredible. And I still got the Polaroid picture of me with this little hat.
Wow.
And thank goodness he was free. I think, thank goodness they've all been freed now.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. But it was like they were saying, "Yeah, hello."
Right.
That's so cool. I always remember the Star Trek. Sorry, I have to go back to the movie about the whales coming from outer space back to Earth to talk to them, and then they had to go back in time to bring the whales back and to the oceans because they were no longer there. And it always kind of reminds me of that big satellite that that comes by Earth. But anyways, I just always remember there's a connection, and even Gene Roddenberry found that there was a connection with the higher intelligence in whales. And having been blessed to be able to see orcas and whales and dolphins in my adult life, I just have such a love orcas. I have such a connection to them as well. So I understand where you come from.
And they're very different energy, aren't they? Very powerful, they're the matriarchal kind of. Yeah.
And the humpbacks, like you say, we were lucky. We were in Haida Gwaii, and we got to see them every day. At first, it was like, "Oh, there's a humpback! There's a humpback!" We all stand outside for hours watching them, and then it got to be almost commonplace. Like, so you go downstairs to, and you say, "Oh, there's a humpback out my portal." And like, dancing,
oh my God,
dancing in the ocean. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. We were there at the right time. So, but I know their eyes are so mesmerizing when you get to see them up close.
Yes.
Yeah. They're so cool.
Intelligence and love and all that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So
and
you have a special treat for us today.
I do.
Yes.
What's my my treat? Dolphin treats.
Yeah.
Dolphin treats.
We're all in for a treat.
Sorry, I've got the giggles now. Okay, we're going to go on a little journey. Okay, I may make a little bit of sound. Let me just do a little, I'll do a little tester and just see how it sounds with this mic. If it's terrible, we won't do it. Okay,
It's okay.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah. We'll mute ourselves.
Okay. So, I think we'll go on a little journey. Okay, so let's just first really get settled and comfortable. So I suggest if you're sitting, you just place your feet really firmly on the ground, just in connection with the ground and with the earth. And as we do that, just bring your consciousness through the body, through the legs, and bring that energy and connect in with the golden grids of the earth, which are the new templates, the templates of new earth. So just feeling your feet just gently rest upon these beautiful golden templates. And as you do, just having a sense of that vibrancy and aliveness of those gold. And then just take a couple of really deep breaths into your belly. And as you breathe out, just sigh, just letting go, just taking a breath out, just a little bit like the dolphins when they come up to the air to breathe and their blowholes open. And with each breath, just settling more and more into your belly, bringing your presence into your body. And then bring your awareness to your heart. You may want to just place your hand on your heart. Breathe into your heart. And then just bring your awareness around to your head, pineal and pituitary, and just allowing an openness and connection with creator consciousness. And bringing your awareness back into your heart. Breathing into your heart. And as you feel that presence of energy in your heart, let it expand outwards through the body, through the room, out through the buildings, across the land. Feel that sense of your body expanding, expanding your awareness and the heart. Feeling that pure consciousness of heart energy. And in this heart space, we are connecting with the mighty Megalo, the beautiful albino humpback whale. Feel his presence surrounding you. Feeling the presence of white crystalline energy. Of vibration that sinks into every cell of your being. Breathe this energy. Allow yourself to receive this beautiful, pure, white, crystalline energy. And you might just want to bring your arms out, stretch them, and feel that pure expansiveness of your physical body. Breathe in this energy again, once into the heart. And dive deeper into your core essence, your pure essence of love, consciousness. Dive deeper into who you truly are. And as your body embraces this pure energy, feel the old start to leave. And dive deeper still into your core essence. And in this space, we're also joined by the spotted dolphins from the Bahamas. Breathe in into the heart and breathe in and receive in. Breathe in and receive in these tones and frequencies. And as the dolphin passes, he watches you, his eyes open, and he holds you in a loving embrace. Remember who you are. Now, the dolphin and Megalo gently move away. And just remembering and returning to that beautiful presence. And then when you're ready, just opening your eyes, just wiggling your feet, moving your body.
Wow. Tingly all over.
Yes.
Me too.
It was such a retreat. Wasn't that a good thing?
Almost.
Oh, it was beautiful to have your presences there. That was part of it all.
How exciting.
It was very beautiful. Thank you.
How'd it go for you guys? Would you, everyone in the audience, tell us how the meditation was for you guys? And Rhonda, how about you?
I
Was
saw
it
the whale's
peaceful?
eye. Yeah, I saw the whale's
Oh,
eye. Yeah, it came into focus. It was kind of in black and white, which is unusual for me, but yeah, it was beautiful. It's beautiful and really tingly when you were sending out the tones and the spotted dolphins came in. I could really feel their energy come in. It was interesting. Very, very. Yeah, now I've got the earworm under the sea going on in my head. So sorry.
that's so cute. That's so cute.
It's like, I don't know why. But anyways, probably hear it for days. Yeah, it's lovely.
Well, good then. I like that. How about you, Bex? What came through for you?
Well, I didn't actually see the dolphin. I mean, the whale. I could feel the energy of the whale, and I could feel like I didn't get to see the details. It was just more of like the energy glow of the whale, which was really cool, and just feeling that wrap around me. And then with the dolphins, I was swimming with them and playing with them, and I definitely felt the water like rushing over my body, and just feeling that joyful, playful energy. It just tingles in my heart center and then down my back. It was really
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Sounds really physical as well. Very tangible.
Yeah.
I love it. And me, in the beginning, some of the tones I was hearing with the white whale, the tones, like I felt almost like took me into a cave and they opened up more of the Akash to me. And I was trying to figure out, is this more like collective Akash of everyone, or is it my personal Akash? And I think in this instant, it was more personal memories available to me to come flooding through that because of what we've done here today, I'm ready to understand and to take on these roles that when I bring it in. I have to look into that more. But then later toward the end, he poured out
Ooh.
this stuff. It was like all these tools came rolling at me as if they were bones and different things in different shapes. They all came,
Wow.
these tools though, came rolling at me. So I think it'll all be coming together. And then like Bex, when it came to the other dolphins, they were anchoring in a kind of energy and showing us how to do the same. If we imitate them or hold their energy, that we can do it the same. And so, I don't know. What about you?
Wow.
What did you get, Elena?
Oh, well, I was just really present with Megalo, and it was like, sometimes I even find it hard to speak because it's just an energy. And my sense was that he was just helping people just connect with their essence, because that is truly that place, and just to be able to settle into that place, which is that place of peace. And that was just my awareness of it. But he was so present, and it was just at the end, the spotted dolphins. It was like, what about us? What about us? Hang on a minute.
That's funny. Did anybody else feel a tingling, like in their crown chakra, like major tingling? Especially when the dolphins came in, it was like whoosh, and all of a sudden there's just so much tingling. Yeah, it was cool.
I could have gone on for ages, but I thought, no, we need to stop. We could
have stayed all day too.
It was like they wanted to come in. I'm like, what about me? What about me?
It was a balance, though, because the big whale was so solemn and so awesome that all you could do was just sit there in awe and experience. And then when the dolphins came in, it was a balance to get moving again,
Right. Oh, that's a good point, Teresa. Yeah, no, I get that. Because otherwise we'd have all just been down with the whales. It'd be 10 o'clock and people would be going, hello. When does this end?
How funny. That's perfect.
It is a bit like that when I've been with whales. I kind of lie on the bed and I'm like, I can't move.
Oh, wow.
Just like in place. Yeah. Oh, but it was beautiful to do it with you guys, because I just, your beautiful presences was just amplifying, and, it was, you guys too, you were all part of it. And everybody out there too. It was, cool.
Amazing. Yeah, Karat there, playing in the blue light of tranquility, freedom of inner peace.
Oh, wow.
Inner space,
yeah. Sorry there.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll take the peace too. It was
I was there. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And your book. So, now that you've released that, now that it took you those years to bring all of this together, and now that you've released it, how are you feeling now? Is there more coming, or are you still getting lessons from all of that work? You know what I mean? All that inner work.
Yeah, well, it's been quite a ride since it went out, because it is a full disclosure. So, yeah, I've had to process quite a lot. But it's interesting. There's definitely a second one, which is a children's book about somebody that was born with the whales. He thought he was a whale until he went onto land. So that's coming now. Nice. And now I'm going back to my dance work. I love to dance. So we've got something called Wild and Free, which we're doing usually by the beach, but because we're in lockdown, it's online, which is a way of just really self-expression. And I'm doing one-to-ones again. I'm doing, basically sessions where really just help people clear the decks, whatever's holding them back from freedom.
Oh,
yeah. So that's there too. And it's all on my website, eleanaoceanheart.com.
Yeah, there's something just Friday.
And you can buy the book on Amazon, amazon.com, yes, and all that business. Yeah.
Just follow the links in your country. And you can get there.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
So I think that's everything that I'm doing. Yeah. But I think it's going to be lots of creative time now, because it's been heads down, amazing as well for lockdown, because I was locked down. I live alone. There was nothing else to do, nowhere place to go. Everything had just fallen away. So
makes you make procrastinators dream, right? You have to do what you have to do. No running away.
I know. I think they have me cornered.
Awesome. This is from YouTube. So flow through you, direct portal.
That's beautiful.
I'm bowing Muslims.
Yeah,
I love that.
Lovely. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, Bex, you have a few questions before we go.
I know your questions.
Back to reality, Bex.
I don't want to. I want to go back in the ocean. All right. First question. If you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life, what would it be?
Oh, yeah. Dancing Queen by ABBA. Just because it's been my favorite ever song and I love dancing. Yeah.
It's fun. You can't not dance when you hear it.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question is, what is your favorite crystal that you're working with right now?
Now this was an interesting question because for some reason I stopped using crystals a couple of years ago. I don't know why. But that said, I returned to visit my parents and I'd left a whole big chunk of rose quartz in their garden. And I bought that back and I thought, oh, I shall quite like this. So rose quartz.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I love that. And you know what's interesting is that Teresa and I have talked about this a few times, but if you heard of Cryon and Lee Carroll?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so Cryon talks about how the tools that we're given, like the crystals and all the spiritual tools, once we spend time with them, we integrate them. We don't need to actually presently have them with us anymore.
Right.
So it's not that you've stopped working with crystals, it's that you don't need to have the physical, like you have them within you. So I think that's, it's a cool way to look at it when we realize that we don't need to have those physical specimens anymore because they are so much a part of us.
Yeah, I think you're spot on again with that, Bex. She's a wise one, Miss Bex.
Yes.
Well, you all are.
Okay, last question. Have you ever experienced extra-dimensional intelligence?
Yes, so quite frequently. You mean off-planet beings?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm very connected with the Pleiades and the Orions. So they're very present all the time, really. So yes, lots of contact there.
And what about the crop circles too?
Oh, the crop circles. Oh yes, well done, Trent. Let's get the crop circles in. Oh my God, yes. So I spent a whole summer. I got really guided to go and stay in Wiltshire, which is the area where the crop circles appear every year. I mean, it's amazing. They appear every year in England. And it was just the most extraordinary time. I must have seen about 10 crop circles in total.
Wow. And
the frequency of those crop circles is just unbelievable. I mean, even just talking about them. In a way, it's like being with dolphins and whales. It's such a high frequency, and it's a frequency of love. When you enter a crop circle, especially one that's freshly made, the energies are extraordinary. They're just incredible. And, the sort of the mental stuff around that is that the patterns are so intricate. I met a scientist when I was there, and he said it's not humanly possible for a human to create such complex patterns. So I was absolutely blown away. It was, just love. And I don't know, they all mean different things, but I don't really mind. I just like, I mean, it could get very mental, I think just the frequency. And it's like, my sense is it's really a message from the higher beings going, all is well. All is well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love them. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This has been beautiful.
Hasn't this been fun?
Thank you so much. I've loved it.
It's just been very soothing and comforting. It's like a big, comfy blanket. That's how I feel. It's just very lovey and soft and warm, and it's nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Anytime I'd love to come back. I just feel like we're having.
Yeah, you can tell us all about the crop circles and maybe bring your pictures.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we could do it. Yeah,
crop circle meditation. That would be cool.
That'd be fun.
That would be.
I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yes. Let's do that.
Cool.
That would be awesome.
It's a date.
Yes.
I'm going to put Rex on the big screen.
No.
Oh my gosh, we went way over, didn't we? That's hilarious.
Okay.
It's our Bex.
It's just been that kind of a month. That's okay.
All right. So the winner of last week's Share It Out, who won a session with me, is Nancy Anderson. Congratulations.
Woohoo.
Please share this out, guys. Invite your friends. Get this out. Like, this is such a beautiful energy. As many people, that could experience as possible is such a gift. So make sure you guys share it out on your pages, share it out on your profile, share it out in the groups you're in, wherever you can share it. We ask you please to do that. And whoever shared that the most next week or this week will win with Teresa. You get a session with Teresa, which is amazing. So you don't want to miss your chance. All you got to do is share, and you win. You just got to be the one who shares out the most, which, it's not too much. I don't know. It's pretty easy. We have repeat sharers all the time. So, just get your name out there, get the shares out there.
And sometimes we just pick somebody at random. So you might be the one, even if you just share it. So, yeah, just be
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It is.
So thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. Okay?
Yes. Have a blessed week. We love you.
Love you guys.
Love you too, guys.
Thank you, Eleana.
Just 1 second. I'm going to take us out with watch the art in this, guys. It's cool.
Yes. Her pictures are in this paintings. Yes.